Come on, man. All Detective Jackson wanted was some Bulls tickets. Aw, man. Hellbound? Released in 1993 and is directed by Norris, who is also behind such films like Platoon Leader, The Hitman, Sidekicks, Good Cop, Bad Cop, and several episodes of Walker, Texas Ranger. Plus, he's also the brother of Chuck Norris, so I wonder how he got this gig. And this film is starring really only Chuck Norris, but I guess other people show up as well. We have Calvin Levels, Sherry J. Wilson, and Discount Vigo from Ghostbusters 2. He is not Vigo! And the reason why we're talking about Hellbound today is because it was a PayPal recommendation from one of my supporters on here who always gives me the most outlandish, ridiculous recommendations, Dr. Camp. Thank you so much for the recommendation. This is my first blood of Chuck Norris. I have seen like clips of Walker, Texas Ranger, but in terms of films and anything else that he's been in, I haven't seen anything. However, I did love the craze like 20 years ago when Chuck Norris jokes were just going everywhere and everyone had one. Just because Chuck Norris is basically the end-all, be-all entity of this entire universe. Which makes sense, he's going up against the devil in Hellbound. Frank Shatter and Calvin Jackson are two Chicago cops who are just on a regular beat trying to save the innocent from drug lords and pimps. But they stumble across a very curious murder of a local rabbi whose heart has been ripped from his chest. Also, a strange golden top of a scepter is left by his body, and so the detectives do their research and find their trails leading them all the way over to the Middle East, where they discover that head researcher Professor Malcolm Lockley is actually the demon in disguise. So Chuck Norris does his Chuck Norris things and defeats the evil forever and gets the girl, and Calvin gets his Bulls tickets. This was 1993, so yeah, the Chicago Bulls were a pretty big deal. They had already won 2 NBA championships and were in the midst of defeating the Phoenix Suns for their third, so yeah, that makes sense. God, everyone was just a Chicago Bulls fan in the 90s. Even if you weren't, you were, secretly. So my first blood with Chuck Norris is, pretty much a doozy. And I guess this thing actually did have a theatrical release, but gosh, you look at this film and I think this was done for TV, right? There's no way that a theater, a movie company would say, yes, make this film. Well, I guess if Chuck Norris wanted to do it, that everyone would just say yes. But cheesy, hammy, doesn't make sense. Apparently, when you're a Chicago detective, your jurisdiction is just the planet. Seriously, the murder of this rabbi happens in Chicago, but then they have to ship him overseas to the Middle East so that he can be buried properly. So they escort him, but then when they escort him, they stay for a couple of days, and they go around interrogating and questioning people and saying that it's in their jurisdiction. When I don't know of any foreign country who would allow cops from America to go over there and be like, yeah, sure, you can go around interrogating my citizens of my country, sure. Oh, American cops. They think they run the world. But you can only run the world, of course, only if you're Chuck Norris, who apparently is just invincible to everything. Like he's begging for a pimp to punch him across the face, and he does, and you hear the wood cracking sound because that's how punches land, and he takes it fully on. He doesn't even flinch, and he just looks back and says, that's all you got? And then proceeds to karate chop and sidekick the man into oblivion.
Come on, let's see how tough you really are. You call that a hit? That's a hit.
And the karate chopping and sidekicking continue all the way taking on the devil, who, come on, looks like a Discount Vigo from Ghostbusters 2, who apparently can modulate his voice whenever he wants. When he wants to go into demon mode,
it becomes very dark and deep like this.
But when he's talking in general profession, he's up here with an English accent. Why? Because reasons. I love seeing American cops go over to the Middle East and really just rip on the natives there for how they eat and how they dress and how they live. I mean, that's just typical 90s Americana right there. You don't have American food or American accommodations. Everyone's just savage. And poor little Detective Jackson, again, all he wanted was his Bulls tickets, and he also wanted to get something to eat. And I don't think he got something to eat the entire film. The local kid kept stealing his wallet. Poor guy. But apparently the kid's storyline was so important and so life-changing that's how the film ends. The final shot is a freeze frame on the kid when Detective Jackson realizes that his wallet has been stolen again, and the kid turns back and looks at the camera and goes... Like, I wanted the Seinfeld music to play at the very end of the movie, because it felt like a Seinfeld episode. I mean, hell, the music in here is basically 90s. Like, I think it's too 90s for 90s music. The synthesized keyboard, oh my god, it's cringy. In terms of caring about this movie, I don't know how you could. This is just flat out ridiculous. There is nothing here other than seeing just Chuck Norris in all of his Chuck Norris glory, taking on the devil, defeating the devil, and getting his friend Bull's tickets. God. And because he is Chuck Norris, he does get the girl in the end. Why? I mean, they really didn't have a connection at all, but gets the girl in the end because, again, he's Chuck Norris. I'm gonna give Hellbound 5 out of 5 mammograms.
I got the results of the test back. I definitely have breast cancer.
Yeah, this movie's pretty ridiculous. It deserves the room treatment. Alright, everyone, now comes my favorite part of my videos where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next. And the next one comes as a PayPal recommendation from two of my biggest supporters on this channel. Mr. and Mrs. Rusted Beetle, you recommended the film Ran from 1985, directed by Kurosawa. And that's why I love doing this channel, because everything is really random here. From the recommendations that I get, the movies that pop up on my random generator. I could be talking about a terrible movie, a cheesy-ass movie like this, Hellbound, and then talk about Ran from 1985, directed by legendary director Kurosawa, next time. I love this channel. So guys, have you seen Hellbound? What did you think about it? How does it rank amongst the other Chuck Norris films out there? I can't comment on that because I haven't seen any of them. But whatever you thought, comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I'm releasing my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of Ran. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.